0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
I'm not the guy you're taking home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. Oh my gosh, Regzy, baby, we are going to the NLCS. We are going to the NLCS.
Can you fucking believe it?
I got to tell you, man. In a million years, I never thought I would have been sitting here on the show saying to you that they are one of the 4 best teams in baseball.
I picked them to lose. I feel terrible.
You did.
I feel terrible.
I said to you on that show, Regz, they can beat the Atlanta Braves.
You did.
They can beat the Atlanta Braves.
You did say that.
They did beat the Atlanta Braves.
Like, not just by a little bit.
Oh, they blew them out of the water. That game 2 was an absolute blemish that shouldn't exist.
All right.
It was just, like I said, that one inning of trickle, 3 runs.
Okay, so let's give the listeners a little heads up how this episode's going to go.
It's just going to be us talking.
Yep. Azzy got home an hour ago. I didn't realize he was on Discord for 45 minutes, so I've wasted 45 minutes of primetime Azzy. I feel terrible. So I'm going to move this along so we keep his mind moving.
Why can't you see me?
I got to keep his mind going so he doesn't. I need him to stay with me. Okay, let's go through these games at home. We've done the podcast about the game. We've covered the games in Atlanta. You and I had the privilege of at least one of us being at each of these games.
Yeah.
So I think we need to give the people who weren't able to be there like a sense of the experience.
Well, I mean, it was nothing. I mean, it really was absolutely just a bunch of so-called hostile environment people. I mean, it didn't really matter, Brian. Idiot.
Good call, Brian.
Okay. I hope Brian is chewing on his words.
So listen,
because that place was out of control.
Zalecki had a quote from him that he actually gave the Phillies all the credit. He didn't make excuses. He didn't do the whole coach speak. He actually said, look, we ran into a team that is on fire, which is good for him. He took the high road. He didn't bash, anybody anymore. All right. Game 1 or, game 3, game 1, I call it.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
With my oldest son, who is 8.
Yep.
Not, again, the most full I've ever seen it in, say, 12 years.
Oh, easily.
Red rally towels. I'm on the fence. I like the white ones. I think they pop a little more when you're in the stadium, but apparently on TV, the red ones look pretty good still. There it is right there for those watching on YouTube. The first, game 3 goes. It's moving along. Strider looks unhittable. You're muted, by the way. Strider looks unhittable. Him and his stupid tight pants and his stupid mustache. You just keep muting yourself when you're trying to unmute yourself.
I don't know why that happened. 6 up, 6 down. He just looked ridiculous.
Throwing 98, 99, 106, 100.6, just absolutely fireballing. And no one can catch up to it. And then just an unbelievable, a walk by Marsh, an unbelievable at bat by Stott.
Oh, it was just fantastic.
Just so good.
Fantastic.
Hits the double, or Marsh gets the third on the errant throw on the pickoff play. Stott doubles him in, and then they intentionally walk Schwarber. And our boy Rhys Hoskins comes to the plate and hits the first fastball, which was at 93 all of a sudden, into left field, just 2 sections to my right. And I told you this over text. I've never heard a louder sound than when that ball got over the fence. Like, I've never heard a louder sound in my entire life. Just utter, like, pandemonium and excitement. And then, of course, followed up with the JT single on the next pitch. Switch pitchers, first fastball. Harper hits an absolute moonshot.
Yeah, it was a missile.
And I told you, I might never be to a better sporting event for the rest of my life.
Yeah, watching yesterday, and I know you just ran through the offense, but Aaron Nola.
Oh,
like,
of course.
I mean, that dude was
just talk about nails.
Again, man. He is just in a different stratosphere right now. I don't know if they are here without him. And he's just been on another planet for the last month. Since the calendar flipped to October, the dude has just been on an entirely different planet.
Yeah.
The fastball is spotted. The curveball is spotted. The changeup he's throwing to righties. Most righties don't throw changeups to righties, and he's out here just throwing changeups to righties. The Reese thing, I think I broke the sound barrier in Hummelstown when that ball hit his bat. I knew that ball was gone, and I think for me, Regz, it's the "Can you hear me now? What are y'all saying about me now?" moment for Rhys Hoskins. He still hasn't been great, since then. But he's been better.
Yes.
There's definitely a difference to him the last 2 days compared to what it was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that swing changed it for
him. And like we talked about, people booed him when he came up. And then he struck out in his first at bat,
yep.
Looked way behind the fastball, and they booed him. And like we said on the podcast, it's that, like, those fans don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned it.
Yeah.
The Bryson Stott at bat.
Just fouling off fastball after fastball.
That was the Brett Myers at bat of 2022.
Yeah.
Just an incredible approach. We talk about it a lot on this show that he does not have a whole lot of bad swing decisions.
Yeah.
He's really good at making the right call on the pitches that he swings at. I mean, he had a tough lefty matchup today that he ended up striking out in, but overall, Bryson Stott finds a way to create the opportunity for the Phillies, lines a ball down the right field line.
Listen,
double.
Say what you will about the Reese home run. None of that happens without that at bat from Stott.
Correct.
And give a lot of credit to Marsh too, that he worked a walk.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
it was a 4-pitch walk, but
yeah.
I mean, he knew what he had to do there.
Yep.
I mean, he wasn't getting, those pitches weren't even close. All 4 were a good 1.5 feet out of the zone.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the stuff that starts those rallies and those innings.
Yep.
And
great job by Topper with the pen again last night. Like, going to Alvarado, making sure that 6th inning doesn't become a bigger deal. And he only throws 14 pitches. They come back out. Brad Hand has a clean 8th, or I'm sorry, 7th. Was it the 7th that he threw? Who threw the 8th then? Or no. The 7th was Alvarado. The 8th was Hand.
Right.
And then they went to Brogdon in the 9th. But Brad Hand actually, not just yesterday, but today,
looked pretty good
with another really good inning today.
Yeah.
Topper really navigated the bullpen well last night because he had everybody ready to go today.
Yep.
I mean, he even said Wheeler was ready to go if they needed him today.
Thank God they didn't.
Incredible job.
But
he did a great job navigating the pen last night, and Nola certainly helped. He probably would have gone 7 had Reese not dropped.
That's
double
just
play
like
ball. What was the vibe in the stadium at that point?
I didn't know it happened.
Yeah, no one did.
I was literally just going, spin it, spin it, spin it.
Yeah.
And then I went nuts. And then all of a sudden the guy's still standing on first base. And I'm like, what? I don't understand what happened. I had to watch the replay.
Yeah. Nola was walking off the field, didn't know what happened.
Yeah. I had to watch the replay to understand what happened. And then luckily they hold it to just that one run. And don't let it get much worse. But
yeah, it was a great job by Aaron to cut that down there, but he had to throw 6 extra pitches.
Yeah, right.
That inning.
So
I think he probably ends up getting through 7 without it. But you know what? Didn't really matter at the end of it all. Just an all around great effort from them last night.
And then to tack on a few more, like this team, like not just the Phillies in general, but this team has sometimes had difficulty putting up more runs after a crooked number. Like they'll get 4, they'll get 5 in one inning, and then it'll shut down the rest of the time. And inevitably maybe they lose or they come back and tie it, or it's a 5-4 game and you never feel like they can kind of relax or that they can go out and just get those insurance runs that win you these games. And then they went out and did it. Castellanos gets that big hit to score 2 more late and really just kind of put it away. And like I said, that inning with the Reese home run and the Harper home run, like I text you this. I will literally talk about it for the rest of my life.
I mean, yeah, you talk about, guys stepping up in big spots and Bryce with the double in the 7th to go up 7-1, and then the 2-run single from Nick to go up
just so 9-1. Good.
Just over and over again right now. This team is playing with such a amount of confidence that we have not seen from them in years. I mean, they're just so confident in everything about around the game. I mean, the arms are throwing confidently. The bats are being swung confidently. The manager is making confident decisions. It's just a different environment, a different atmosphere. And certainly no matter who they play this weekend, and look, there's going to be a game 5. It looks like right now. I mean, it's still early, but the Dodgers are up on the Padres 2-0 in the 5th. And honestly, if they go 5, that's fantastic for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Fantastic for the Phillies.
Absolutely.
So, hopefully that's the case. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize the Yankees lost tonight.
Yeah. That Gonzalez walked it off again.
2-run
single in the bottom of the 9th.
3 runs in the 9th.
Yeah.
Wow.
God, that's hilarious.
Yankee fans cannot be happy.
So good.
So
all right, let's talk about tonight.
I mean, Regz, I got to tell you, man, this is not my first playoff game. I was at 1 in 08. I was at 2 in 08. I was at 2 in 2010, and then I was at the 1 in 2011 that ended it all. But this one had a different vibe, man. This one just had a different vibe. I think we just expected to win back then, and now it's like we're going to will them to win. And, from the moment you walk in the stadium, that place is just electric. And I don't know. I think I've talked about it on the show before, but just a reminder for all those out there that Pat Burrell is and always will be my dude. Like, that guy will always and forever be my absolute favorite Philly. And I cried today. Legitimately, tears came down my face when he came out and threw out the first pitch. Like, I don't even think I saw the first pitch because I was too busy crying when he came out. That's guys, that's what this team means to me. Like, that's what this this baseball team means to me. I was crying when Pat Burrell came out and threw out the first pitch. I kept saying throughout the morning when we were driving there, I just need Noah to get through the first inning without a run. And he didn't just get through the first inning. I mean, 2 strikeouts right out the gate.
Yeah.
Like right out the gate. And the Phillies certainly left opportunities there in the first.
Oh my goodness. They did all the things that made us thought that game was a loss. Like it's all the things during the season that they would do. Go 0 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Yeah. And I just didn't want it to be that type of game. I was just sitting on my couch going, don't do this to us again, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. When Schwarber and Hoskins, go 1-2, walk single, first and third, and you got JT, Bryson, Nick coming up, you're like, you're gonna get one here, and they didn't get any.
Yeah.
Then Noah comes out 1, 2, 3 inning in the second. And then I gotta tell you, man, in the second inning, the Brandon Marsh home run, albeit loud, I didn't think it was a home run.
That's wild.
Off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I lost it when it came off the bat or what. Now we were sitting right behind home plate, like almost my season ticket seats, like literally 2 rows behind that. It just did not appear to me that he got it. On TV, was it like absolutely no doubter off the bat? I haven't seen the highlight yet.
I don't know if it was off the bat, but as soon as the camera panned to Acuna, you were like you could react because you just saw Acuna going like this, and just like his head was way too far up for it to just be a pop up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it just didn't look like it off the bat. Then the Braves got their run. Loudest I've ever heard the ballpark was the JT inside the park.
What a thing to happen. Like, what are you talking about? An inside the park home run in a series clinching game at home, and for the other team's supposed best player to just be lazy and not back up that ball.
That's what I was going to say to you. He did not move until that ball got by Michael Harris. Yeah. And that right there is embarrassing. And you know what? They won a title without him last year, and you can kind of get the vibe of why. He just, goes through the motions. He's so talented that he just goes through the motions.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of extra effort from him. Which is good for teams that play them, but he certainly just that ball right there. That shouldn't have been an inside the park home run.
No,
should not have been.
If he's doing what he needs to do, that's a triple.
Yeah. Can I tell you that I am so happy Matt Olson is gone for the rest of the season?
God, that guy's scary when he comes to the plate, isn't he?
We don't get him out.
Yeah.
We don't get him out. He's an impossible.
My wife saw him coming to the plate, and she's like, "How big is that guy?" And I was like, that guy is just, and you texted me that, and I said, you're absolutely right, but like, can I just get the man to hit a single maybe?
He came out.
But he came out. And you're just like, he's just really, I'm like, there's no argument that guy is just really good at hitting a baseball.
And then you get into the point of the game, like the 6th inning where you're like, all right, it's 4-2. Can we just?
All I kept saying was, can we score more runs?
Well, I just wanted to keep the game moving. Like I was kind of like, let's keep this game moving.
What was the vibe in the stadium after the d'Arnaud home run?
When it was 7-2 or whatever, or what? I don't remember what the score was.
When it got to, what was it? 5-2. Wasn't it 5-2?
Is that what it was? I'm trying. No, I think the d'Arnaud was 7-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there was one before then. Who did it? Who hit the Olson?
That was the Olson. Okay, that was the Olson home run.
The 4-2 home run.
At that point, it was kind of like, okay, like that's what I mean. It's like, can we get rid of this guy? It's getting ridiculous now. But Bilotti struck out the next 2 guys.
Yeah.
To end the inning, he struck out Darno and Riley. They didn't get any more runs than they brought in Hand, strikeout, single, fly out to end the inning. Then Phillies went down in order, went to the sixth. Alvarado put them down in order, which was great.
Yeah.
And then the bottom of the sixth is when it all went down. Stott struck out, but then it was a Segura single.
How about Gene Segura, by the way?
Yeah, how about it? He made a couple of plays today, too. Marsh struck out, so they had 2 outs, and then Schwarbo got hit, Reese single, JT Infield single, Bryce single. And that was sort of like where they broke it open.
Yeah.
Then Darno hit the home run.
Yeah.
To lead off the next inning, and Alvarado just kind of like shrugged it.
That was another ball that just like Marsh just kept like, he's like, why am I still going back on this ball?
Yeah.
You could almost see it in his face.
Yeah, but at that point, like it pretty much the vibe was like, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
And then Bryce hit the home run in the 8th, and honestly, at that point, it was all right. Let's get through the rest of this and start celebrating.
I reacted so heavily to that Bryce home run, and my wife was like, "Why are you like? What are you doing? Like they're already
Just,
up
you
by."
knew.
And I said, "A grand slam doesn't tie the game now."
Yeah, you knew. You just
I was
knew
like,
at that point.
was the run that made this thing out of reach.
You just knew.
Yep.
There was at that point there was no doubt they were winning the baseball game. The stadium knew it. The Braves knew it. It was over.
Yeah.
It was over, and you know this. Nick said it after the game that you want to be able to do that 8 more times now. You want to stand there 8 more times and just experience what you experienced. Let's talk a little bit about that before we kind of wrap. There were a couple of comments between last night and today just around what that stadium was like. Last night, Stott said, usually keeps his the volume of the pitch thing on 8.
Yeah.
And he was like, I had to put it all the way up to 20 and I still couldn't hear.
Yep.
And, for him to say that means that in Atlanta, 8 was sufficient.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing for them in a playoff game. Zach Eflin mentioned how ridiculous it was and how he can't imagine being an opposing team coming in and playing in that kind of noise. Other guys, Bryce said it, Topper said it. Topper tonight at the end of the game got shown on the big screen, didn't even realize it, and the place went absolutely ballistic.
Yeah.
And he kind of turned around and looked and was like, "Oh, it's me," and tipped his cap and did the whole thing. But
yeah.
I mean, I said it before. Win one, you get home, you're gonna win the series because this group of Braves has not felt Citizens Bank Park in the actual vibe of Citizens Bank Park. They've played there. They have not played there like this.
No.
And you cannot tell me it did not have an impact. I will laugh in your face if you tell me that stadium did not impact the last 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, it was just it was everything you expected to see from Phillies fans. And I think that's the highest compliment I can give is that they showed up and they turned Citizens Bank Park into the apex of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like the DUI chants for like hilarious and like just had him rattled. He was swinging at like everything.
Those pitches were a good foot off the plate.
And then the Strider, again, the entire stadium was doing it.
They did it today too.
With Charlie, yep.
Charlie. Yeah, it was happening today too.
And then every time with 2 strikes. Every time there was 3 balls on one of our hitters.
Yep.
Every time there was a guy on second. Like, it's just, I'll say, especially in my game, there was a few times like before the 3rd inning happened that like I kind of wanted the crowd to get up, but it seemed like they were learning again how to be in a playoff game. Like the fans were learning.
Some of it's Spencer Strider being Spencer
Well, yes,
Strider,
he was also
too.
very good, but it was like, and then it's like the 3rd inning snapped the entire stadium back into that mode.
Yeah.
And it's everything you wanted it to be. It's everything that a home stadium in Philadelphia should be. There are lots of places you go in sports that don't have a home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia has never and will never be one of those places.
No.
And the baseball fans showed up and showed out and willed this team and pressured the opposing team into winning these games and going to the freaking NLCS. This team that had to come down to the last series of the year and win to get into the playoffs has now beat the reigning world champions to get to an NLCS. And not just beat them, but like beat them convincingly. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe that this is what we're talking about. I can't believe it. I can't believe it after that podcast we did after they got swept by the Cubs. I cannot believe it.
And I think the link that we need to tie together here is they feel themselves right now.
Oh my God.
They're a team that no one wants to play. And you know, there's a good series going on in California right now, but neither of those teams are looking forward to playing the Phillies.
No one should.
You know, they're getting going at the right time offensively. The 2 guys at the top of the rotation are just filth, just pure filth. They got 2 dudes at the back end who are also pure filth. And I do really believe that this team is going to pose either one of those teams in California a lot of problems.
Yeah, they have an unbelievable chance to keep this run going.
I cannot believe that we are sitting here and talking about an NLCS appearance.
I can't.
It is beyond my comprehension.
I can't.
Beyond it.
I fell on the floor today. I was standing up for the entire last inning. I had my boys count down the outs. So we were at 9. We start in the 7th. So we're at 9. Then we go to 6. And then we, keep going. And when after Sir Anthony struck out the first 2 guys, really after he struck out Olsen, I was like, okay, like we're good now. But you're still just a ball of nervous. Yeah. And I'm standing in my family room and he throws the last strike and I just fall down and I lay on my floor and my middle son jumped on me and said, "We did it, Daddy. We did it." And I was like, I almost like started crying.
Yeah.
It was like that emotional. You can't, we've talked about this before. I know I've ranted about it and so, like you've talked about it as well, but like what we feel for this baseball team far exceeds any other sort of fandom, at least that I have. I won't speak for you, but for me, it far exceeds any other fandom that I have. And this run is just, it's just unbelievable from this group of guys and this team. After the podcast that we had to record after Chicago. Like it's just I don't know what else to say, bud. I don't know. It's just an unbelievable series of events that have turned the Phillies into the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, I don't know that there's much left to kind of say there.
Yeah,
like, I mean, it's been a long journey to get to this point, right? Like you just said it. We've lived and died with this team when they were bad, and then again when they were competing and losing those last few games, and now we sit here and they competed all year. They snuck into the playoffs. They beat two division champions, one in the wild card round, one in the division round, and their toughest challenges are still yet in front of them.
Sure.
But it doesn't take away from what they've done to this point.
It can't.
And it won't. I mean, again, they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Like, I know what Gene said about you're playing to win, and at this point you're not playing to be satisfied with where you landed. You're playing to win more games and play more games.
Yeah.
And they are doing that, but I think this fan base would all agree that, like, as long as you don't get embarrassed in the NLCS, like, we're gonna walk away pretty happy with.
Even at that point, it's like you can almost understand it. Like they're gonna have more days off now than they have in the past 3 weeks.
Well, they should be playing Tuesday.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
No, like it's like what they had with the Cardinals.
Again, if you go up against the Dodgers, you're literally going up against the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
During the regular season. And the Padres are a team that, yes, you've beat in the regular season, but you have not. Have they played them with Juan Soto?
No, or Josh Bell.
Yeah, exactly. Again, two like absolute Phillies killers. But
yeah.
But again, we'll talk about that later. Tonight,
we're not going to worry about that.
This is just about the happy.
Yeah. And are you ready for my
Yes.
fixated?
Yes, please.
We're going back to the NLCS. That's my fixated. I don't know how much I have to say,
buddy.
Regz.
There's nothing else to say, man.
Like, we're going back to the NLCS, and the Phillies are one of the top 4 teams in baseball. And I honestly, Regz, like, I'll expand a little bit. I believe that this team is a top 4 team. I believed it, before the season started. I felt like they could compete. I felt like they could win. I felt like they were that good. They struggled. The manager had a lot to do with that. They did not believe in him. He did not believe in the right guys. Topper came in. He believed in them. He believed in the right guys. And because of that, they are where they are. This is a top 4 team in baseball. And I don't think it's a fluke. I think that there's talent up and down the roster. There's talent in the bullpen. There's talent in the starting rotation. There's certainly talent in the starting lineup offensively. And I do believe this team has a chance to make some noise here with the next series and possibly the series after that. Again, it's house money for them. If they end up playing in the World Series, God bless America.
Can you just imagine that we're talking about that?
Philly fan, dude, they're 4 wins away.
What are we talking about? This Phillies team is 4 wins away from the World Series.
But, like, I'm not that surprised. I'm just not. Like, I know that I'm like the irrationally positive one on the show. I understand that. But, I sat here 2 shows ago and told you that they would beat the Braves. I had no qualms about sitting here saying, look, I think they can beat the Braves.
You did.
I firmly believe that this team is that talented. They're that difficult of an out that if they're all going on the right cylinder, they're going to be very difficult to beat. Now, I did say that if they get to LA, it's probably done there. And there's part of me that still believes that, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. I don't think they're going to roll over. I don't think they're going to be an easy out. No. I think, the first 2 guys in the rotation make it very difficult on opposing teams. And I do believe that they could absolutely win a game in LA or San Diego because of those 2.
Yeah.
And come back home and, have these fans
and do it again.
To a title. Yeah.
Do it again.
Have these fans will them to another round. But this is a good team, man. They're a good team. They're going back to the NLCS. They're one of the 4 best teams in baseball, and I think the title fits. I do. I think the title fits. Despite what people will say, despite what Braves fans will say, despite what Mets fans will say, the
Fuck
Phillies
you.
went the Phillies went further with Zach Wheeler and Noah Syndergaard than the Mets went with
Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer.
Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. So, good for them. Good for the Phils. I know Snicker said what he said after the game, but Brian, you were wrong, man. This just plain and simple. Like, I wish he would have come out and said, you know what, I was wrong about the environment.
Well, he was right. It was a hostile environment, but he was wrong that he thought it wouldn't affect them.
It totally affected them. I mean, they looked like they were pooping themselves. They were definitely not.
Yep, that's a man who had never experienced Philadelphia
in the way that Philadelphia can be.
That's right.
You mentioned earlier, like the every time there were two strikes, like it was before. You know how they play that? Dum,
yeah.
Dum.
Mm-hmm.
It was before that. Every time that the towels were waving.
Yep.
Philly just knows. They know, man. Joel Embiid was there today. Sirianni was back today. There were a ton of people.
Schwarber said it. Schwarber had a quote, and I don't remember if it was Alex Coffey or someone else, but he had a quote today that said, he literally said, no offense to any other fan bases, but I've never been in a stadium that sounds like that. I've never been in a stadium where the fans understand every pitch.
Yep.
And what it means.
Yep. These guys have now experienced it. And I said this to Matt today, NLCS or not, they're not going to want that to go away.
No.
They're not. Like, once you experience this kind of love and excitement, you don't want this to go away.
Right. This is
they're gonna do everything they can, and I think the ownership will do everything they can to make sure this team is competing, not just the next 2 weeks, but the next 2 years plus. They're gonna put the right guys on the field to compete and battle. But I think ultimately, Regz, my fixated is we're going back to the NLCS. We're there, man.
It's just an unbelievable last 2 days.
Tuesday night in California, one way or the other. I'm sure they're probably going to fly out tomorrow and get their bodies adjusted to, California. They'll probably just fly out to the middle of LA and San Diego and take a bus or a charter to wherever they're going to play on Tuesday. But this group has earned this opportunity, and we are. It is crazy to think that we are 2 days away from a NLCS berth with the Philadelphia Phillies, man. Philadelphia Phillies are going to the NLCS. Wild after all of the Cameron Rupps and the Tyler Goodells and the Aaron Altairs and the Dom Browns and the Tommy Josephs and the
oh my God, who is that terrible pitcher from the Red Sox who was on our team for a year, who blew every save he walked into?
Oh yeah, he hung every curveball. Yep. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh my God, who was that guy?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
All right, good. As long as you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. It was the 2020.
He was awful.
Yeah. I mean, the Jeremy Hellicksons, the Jared Eichhoffs, we've been through it, man. We've been through it, and here we are heading to the NLCS.
Oh my God,
unbelievable!
It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
It's unreal, man.
All right, bud.
It's unreal.
We're gonna. Well, I think there's not, like you said, there's not much else to say.
No, it's also midnight, and I gotta get some sleep. I didn't sleep at all last night. I was way too excited. So
I'm not sure I'll be able to sleep tonight. I'm not I don't know what's going on.
I think I'll fall asleep pretty well tonight. I think I'll sleep really well, and tomorrow evening we get Birds Boys.
That's right.
So I wish the Phillies could just take another day and soak in Birds and Boys, but they're gonna go. I'm sure they're gonna watch it. Once they get out to California, they're gonna find a way to watch it. But for now, NLCS bound, division round champs. Hard to believe, Harry. Hard to believe.
It's It's
But
just
they're
the
there.
best. It's just
They're
the
there.
best.
And I'll tell you what, they take one out wherever they go in California, and they're gonna have they're gonna have somebody crazy throwing out the first pitch in Game 3.
Bring back Howard. Bring back Utley.
Oh
Bring
yeah,
back
it'll
Rollins.
be well. I mean, if the Dodgers are out, Chase is a possibility.
Can't
He's
wait.
a possibility. The place will be wild.
Cannot
but
wait.
Regz, people, click subscribe below. Follow us on all your podcast platforms.
Can I just say
Follow-
quickly,
Yeah.
our Phillies are in the playoffs YouTube video has 155 views.
Wow, good for us. This one's just going to be Phillies are in the NLCS.
That's right. It's gonna be great.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's
Oh
ride.
my goodness.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on all your podcast platforms. Rate us. Follow us on Instagram at BNB Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at BNB Pod. Follow us at Phixated Pod. Follow me at the Mic Drop 5 and Regz at Big Regz with a Z. Follow the Phixated fan page on Facebook where you're getting my my post-game video reactions after each and every game. And make sure you buy some merch. You know,
Please buy some merch.
buy some merch. Stuff looks good.
It
It's
does
exciting.
look good. It feels good. Makes you look better, I've heard.
NLCS Mount, baby.
It's been an unbelievable 2 days. I can't believe we've been a part of it. I can't believe that this baseball
Exciting.
team is doing what it's doing, and I'm all in. I've never been more all in, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Welcome to the dark side, buddy.
That's right.
Everybody take care, be good, be kind to someone. We love you for listening. We appreciate it so much. Go Phils, go Birds. But guys, really, go NLCS bound Phils. We'll see you guys next week. We love you. Take care.
I've been dancing on my own.
Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.